Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to look at something you probably use all the time without even thinking about it, the hyperlink. We'll explore how this one simple click connects our entire digital world, especially when we're working in software like Libra Office. So, let's get started.
It kind of feels like magic, doesn't it? You see some blue underlined text, you click on it, and poof, you're looking at a new web page or a different document just opens up. But what is actually going on behind that click? That's exactly what we're going to break down today.
So, at its heart, a hyperlink is just a connection. You can think of it as a digital pathway that lets you jump from one spot to another in an instant. And this isn't just for the internet, you know. It's the basic building block for connecting all kinds of information, even inside your very own documents.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. You see, not all hyperlinks are the same. Inside LibreOffice, you actually have a few different flavors of links, and each one is made for a different job. It's about so much more than just linking to a website.
In LibreOffice, the links are basically in four main types. First, you have the internet link. This is the one we all know. It takes you to a web page. Then you can link to another document that is saved on your computer, which is super useful for project files. There's also a mail and news link. This one can open up a new email for you, already addressed. And finally, you can even link to a spot within this document itself. This is fantastic for things like a table of contents. All right, let's talk about our first big difference. And honestly, if you understand this one thing, you're ahead of the game. It's the difference between an absolute and a relative link. Getting this right is what makes your documents either robust and portable or fragile and easy to break. Let's use a simple example. An absolute link is like a full postal address, house number, street name, city, PIN code, the whole thing. It's a complete fixed path. A relative link, on the other hand, is like telling someone it's the house next door. That direction only makes sense from where you are standing right now. Now, here's the important part. If you move your entire folder of project files to another computer, all the relative links inside will still work perfectly. Why? Because all the files move together. But the absolute links, they might just break.
And here you can see what that looks like in practice. See that absolute path? It starts all the way from the C drive. It's the full fixed address we talked about. But look at the relative path. It's just the file name. This only works because the file it's pointing to is sitting in the very same folder. It's much cleaner, but it all depends on its location. All right, on to our second major difference. Now this one is a little more straightforward. It's all about where your link is going. Is it pointing to something out there on the World Wide Web? Or is it pointing to a file that's sitting right here on your own computer?
So it's pretty simple, really. An internet hyperlink is for anything online. You click it, and your computer opens a web browser. A document hyperlink is for your local files. You click it, and it just opens that spreadsheet or that PDF directly. No internet needed. Let's look at a few quick examples. The HTTPS link is clearly going to the internet. That C drive path, that's an absolute link to another file on this computer. But I want you to look closely at that third one, sheet3.a5. That is an internal document link. With just one click, it can take you from a summary page directly to the exact cell where your data is. It's a really powerful way to get around complex files.
So, we now know the different types of links. The next question is obvious, right? Which one should you use and when? This is where we learn how to make our documents much smarter and, more importantly, much more reliable for everyone. And really, this is what it all comes down to. Choosing the right kind of link isn't just a small technical detail. It's what makes the difference between a professional, reliable document and one that's full of broken links and frustration. Getting this right just makes your work so much easier for everyone to use.
So, here is a simple rule you can always remember. Use absolute links for things that don't move, like a permanent file on a company server. But for any files that belong together in a project folder, always use relative links. That way you can zip the folder, email it to someone, move it to another drive, and you can be sure that all of your links will still work perfectly. So now you have the tools to connect your information in a smart way. The only question left is, how are you going to use this to build your own web of information? I hope this was helpful. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.